This, of course, came as a huge shock, and William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family.
Royal watchers around the world, stop everything you are doing right now and listen closely, because what you are about to hear is the single most shocking health revelation to ever explode out of the British monarchy in modern times. Princess Catherine, the woman the entire planet sees as the picture of grace, elegance, and absolute perfection, has finally allowed the world to see her real vulnerability during her pregnancies. And the truth is more heartbreaking, more raw, more explosive, and more devastating than anyone could have ever imagined. A private letter she wrote in the darkest hours of her third pregnancy with Prince Louis has now surfaced in the most dramatic way possible, and its contents have stunned the globe, ripped open the hidden battles inside Kensington Palace, exposed the cold jealousy that has been simmering for years, and left Camilla absolutely fuming, shattered, and plotting in the shadows like never before. This is not some polished press release or carefully worded statement from the palace. This is the real Kate, the devoted mother who nearly broke under the crushing weight of hyperemesis gravidarum while carrying the future of the crown, the woman who fought through pain, fear, and unimaginable pressure while the world only saw her smile. And behind the scenes, the palace war that tried to bury her pain forever has now been laid bare for everyone to see. The story begins all the way back in 2012 when the world celebrated the news that Kate was pregnant with Prince George. To the outside world, it looked like the ultimate fairy tale moment, a beautiful young duchess expecting the future king and the monarchy glowing with joy. But behind the thick, impenetrable palace walls, it was a nightmare that almost destroyed her completely. Hyperemesis gravidarum hit her like a merciless freight train that would not stop. She was vomiting up to 20 times a day, unable to keep down even a single sip of water, losing dangerous amounts of weight at an alarming rate, and ending up hooked to intravenous drips in King Edward VII Hospital for days on end. The palace tried to downplay it all by calling it severe morning sickness, but insiders now confirm the truth was far worse and far more terrifying than they ever let on. Kate was terrified she would lose the baby she had dreamed of for so long. She lay on the cold bathroom floor at night, sobbing uncontrollably, and begging for the pain to stop while William sat beside her completely helpless and heartbroken, watching the love of his life suffer in ways no one outside their closest circle could understand. One senior aide who has never spoken publicly before, but has now come forward to trusted sources, revealed that Kate whispered through her tears one heartbreaking night, "I don't know if I'm strong enough for this life and for this baby." That single sentence, friends, is the very first glimpse of the real vulnerability the future queen kept hidden from the entire world for years. While Kate fought desperately for her own life and the life of her unborn son in that hospital bed, Camilla was reportedly watching the entire situation with cold, calculated eyes. Multiple palace insiders who have spoken on condition of strict anonymity claim that Camilla saw Kate's severe struggle as a golden opportunity to remind everyone who truly held the real power behind the throne. During those long, agonizing hospital days, when Kate could barely lift her head from the pillow, Camilla was allegedly telling her close friends at private dinners and gatherings that the young duchess was too fragile for royal life and too weak to handle the pressure. Fragile? The same woman who would later become the most adored and respected royal on the planet was fighting a rare and life-threatening condition that affects less than 2% of all pregnancies and can lead to serious complications if not treated immediately. Camilla's jealousy was already simmering beneath the surface, and this first pregnancy only poured fuel on the fire that would burn for years to come. Sources say she pushed Charles to keep the focus on her own public appearances and duties, while Kate lay isolated in that hospital bed fighting for everything. The message Camilla was sending behind closed doors was crystal clear. Let the new girl fade into the background while the more experienced one shines brighter than ever. But Kate refused to fade away quietly. She fought back with a quiet, unbreakable strength that would later define her entire royal journey and earn her the love of millions. By the time 2015 arrived, the world thought the second pregnancy with Princess Charlotte would be easier for Kate. Everyone assumed the experience from the first pregnancy would make things smoother. It was not easier. It was brutally, mercilessly worse in every possible way. Kate lost nearly 10% of her body weight again in a terrifyingly short time. The nausea was relentless and unforgiving, striking at every hour of the day and night. She could not stand without help from William or her trusted staff. William had to cancel major royal engagements at the last minute because his wife was simply too weak to leave her bed or even sit up for more than a few minutes. Insiders revealed that during the worst nights, Kate would clutch William's hand tightly and confess how scared she truly was deep inside. In private moments, she admitted the crushing pressure of being perfect in public, while her body betrayed her at every turn, made her question everything about her role and her future. She wrote in her private journal entries that have now been partially leaked to select journalists that some days she felt completely invisible, as if the monarchy only wanted her polished smile and her perfect appearance and cared nothing for the suffering happening behind the scenes. That raw, unflinching honesty is exactly what makes this latest health reveal so explosive and so powerful today. The world had never been allowed to see this side of Kate until now, and when the full letter finally emerged, it shattered every illusion the palace had worked so hard to maintain for over a decade. Camilla's reaction to the second pregnancy was even more cold and calculated than before. Palace sources confirm she allegedly pressured senior aides and advisors to shorten Kate's maternity leave dramatically and get her back to public duties faster than any doctor would consider medically safe. The monarchy cannot appear weak in any way, Camilla reportedly said in one tense closed-door meeting that has now been described in detail by those present. Weak? The woman carrying the spare heir to the throne while battling dehydration so severe her heart rate spiked to dangerous levels and doctors feared for her safety? Princess Anne was said to be absolutely livid when she heard those words repeated back to her. Anne confronted Camilla directly in a private setting and snapped with uncharacteristic force. That girl is fighting a war inside her own body every single day for this family, and you want her back on parade like nothing is wrong? The tension in the room was so thick it could have been cut with a knife. Camilla simply smiled her cold, practiced smile and changed the subject, but everyone present knew the damage had already been done. Kate's real vulnerability was already beginning to expose the deep cracks in the old guard's control over the narrative and over the family. Then came 2017 and the pregnancy with Prince Louis. This was without question the most brutal, most exhausting, and most dangerous battle of all three pregnancies combined. The hyperemesis gravidarum returned with a vengeance stronger than ever before. Kate's body was already exhausted from the two previous pregnancies, and this third one pushed her to the absolute physical and emotional limit in ways that left even her closest friends stunned. Insiders now reveal that during the worst weeks, she experienced moments of genuine medical danger that the palace has never publicly admitted. Dehydration became so extreme that doctors were rushed in during the middle of the night on more than one occasion. William refused to leave her side for even a moment. He slept in an uncomfortable chair beside her hospital bed for 3 straight nights, holding her hand while she drifted in and out of consciousness from the intense pain and the strong medication. In those darkest, loneliest hours when the pain felt unbearable, Kate picked up a pen with trembling hands and wrote a private letter addressed directly to her future children. She never intended for the world to see it. It was meant to stay locked away forever, as a mother's most honest and vulnerable confession to the baby she loved more than life itself. But someone very close to the family decided the truth needed to come out into the light. And that letter has now changed everything about how we see the future queen. In her own heartbreaking and deeply moving words, Kate poured out the truth the palace had spent years carefully hiding from the public. She wrote with raw emotion, "Some days I feel like I'm disappearing completely. The nausea never stops no matter what I do. The fear never stops even when I try to push it away. I smile for the cameras and for the world, but inside I'm terrified I won't be strong enough for you, my darlings." She described in painful detail the nights she lay awake, wondering if the crown and the duty were truly worth the terrible cost to her body and her mind. She admitted the perinatal anxiety that gripped her heart when the vomiting turned so violent she saw blood, and wondered if she could continue carrying the baby safely. She confessed the overwhelming pressure of being the perfect duchess while her body was falling apart piece by piece. But she also wrote with incredible courage about the love that ultimately pulled her through every single dark moment. William's steady and unwavering hand on her back, the tiny kicks from her unborn son that reminded her why she was fighting, and the inner strength she discovered she possessed even when everything felt hopeless. This letter, friends, is the real vulnerability the world has been waiting to see for so long. It is not a sign of weakness. It is the most powerful display of royal courage, motherhood, and humanity in decades, and it has touched hearts across the globe in ways no one could have predicted. When the full contents of that private letter leaked just days ago, the reaction was immediate, overwhelming, and truly global. Social media platforms exploded with millions upon millions of mothers sharing their own personal stories of hyperemesis gravidarum, perinatal anxiety, and the silent, invisible battles they fight every single day without any royal title or palace support. Hashtags like #RealKate and #KateVulnerability shot to the very top of trending lists and stayed there non-stop for 72 hours straight. Women from every continent posted raw videos of themselves crying in solidarity and thanking Kate for finally giving them permission to speak their truth out loud. Even major Hollywood stars and influential public figures who have battled similar pregnancy complications publicly praised Kate for her honesty and bravery in the strongest possible terms. Charities and organizations supporting mothers with severe pregnancy conditions reported donations spiking by more than 400% in just 48 hours after the letter became public. Kate did not just reveal her own pain in that letter. She gave millions of ordinary women around the world the courage and the permission to speak their own truths and to seek help without shame. The palace was forced to issue a carefully worded official statement acknowledging her courage, but behind the scenes, the drama inside the walls was exploding like never before. Camilla was reportedly shattered and visibly furious when she first heard that the letter was circulating beyond the inner circle. One trusted aide who was present overheard her on a private phone call demanding that the story be contained immediately and buried as deeply as possible. "This is not how we do things in this family," she allegedly hissed with clear anger in her voice. "Vulnerability is not royal, and it never has been." The translation was obvious to everyone listening. Kate's raw honesty had just made Camilla's own carefully polished and controlled image look cold, distant, out of touch, and lacking in any real human warmth. While Kate was showing the world what true strength and true motherhood looked like in the middle of unimaginable physical and emotional pain, Camilla was focused only on protecting her own position, her own narrative, and her own power within the monarchy. Sources close to the family say Camilla tried desperately to spin the story through back channels and whispered to certain friendly tabloids that the Duchess had always been dramatic and prone to exaggeration. Dramatic? the woman who nearly died, carrying 3 future heirs to the throne, while the entire world watched her every public move and expected perfection at all times. Princess Anne refused to stay silent or allow any of the negativity to continue. Insiders reveal she stormed into a private council meeting with fire in her eyes and confronted Camilla head-on in front of several senior aides. Catherine has shown more grace, more courage, and more strength in her pain than you have shown in your entire position within this family, Anne reportedly declared with unmistakable authority. The room fell deathly quiet as the weight of those words settled over everyone present. Anne then pushed hard for the letter to be acknowledged publicly in full and for Kate to receive complete and unconditional support along with protection from any further negative briefings or palace leaks. Camilla's face, sources say, turned to stone, but she knew in that moment she was losing ground rapidly and the power was shifting away from her. Meanwhile, Prince William released a quiet yet incredibly powerful statement through Kensington Palace that spoke volumes without naming anyone directly. My wife's strength during this time has been nothing short of extraordinary. We are deeply grateful for the love and support pouring in from around the world. No direct mention of Camilla, but the message was crystal clear to anyone paying attention. The younger generation was closing ranks firmly around Kate, and her real vulnerability had united them like nothing else could have. Even King Charles himself was reportedly moved to tears when he finally sat down and read the full letter in private. Insiders claim he told William in an emotional father-son conversation later that evening, "Your wife is the true future of this monarchy. Make sure she knows every single day how much she is valued and how much she is loved by all of us." Edward and Sophie also stepped up in a major way during the crisis. Sophie reached out to Kate every single day during the worst weeks, sending quiet, heartfelt messages of support that simply said, "You are not alone in this fight, my dear. We are all here for you." The contrast with Camilla's noticeable silence and alleged attempts to downplay everything was impossible for anyone inside the palace to ignore any longer. Little Prince George, sources say, asked his mother in a sweet and innocent moment why she was always so tired and why she had to rest so much during that 3rd pregnancy. Kate, choosing honesty even in her vulnerability, told him in simple and loving words, "Sometimes mummies have to be very brave, so their babies can be born strong and healthy." George hugged her tightly and replied with all the purity of a child, "You're the bravest mummy in the whole wide world." When Kate later shared that precious moment with William, insiders say the future king had tears in his eyes and held his wife even closer. These are the deeply human, deeply touching moments the palace tried so hard to hide for years, and the letter has finally brought them all into the bright light where they belong. The health reveal has already begun changing the monarchy forever in profound and lasting ways. It has shown the entire world that the next queen is not some untouchable figure placed on a pedestal far above ordinary people. She is a real woman who struggles, who feels deep fear, who fights through intense pain, and who loves her family with every fiber of her being. Kate's honesty has made the entire royal institution more relatable, more human, and more connected to the public than it has been in many generations. Global leaders from multiple countries sent personal messages of support and admiration. Mothers from every background and every culture flooded social media with their own stories of similar journeys through pregnancy complications. The conversation about maternal health, perinatal mental health, and the hidden personal cost of living life in the public eye has been opened wide in a way no previous royal has ever achieved before. And all of it started with one private letter written in the quiet, painful hours when Kate thought no one would ever see her real vulnerability or understand what she was going through. Of course, the palace drama did not end with the letter's release. It only intensified. Camilla's camp allegedly continued to push back hard behind the scenes with attempts to downplay the severity of Kate's condition and to shift the public attention back toward more traditional and controlled royal narratives. But Princess Anne was having absolutely none of it. She reportedly increased her private support for Kate tenfold in the following weeks, with more frequent meetings, more transfers of important responsibilities, and more layers of protection from the darker forces still operating inside the palace walls. Sophie and Edward have aligned themselves firmly and publicly with the Wales family in ways that send a clear signal. One trusted insider told us recently, the younger generation is closing ranks completely. Kate's vulnerability has united them in a way nothing else could have done in the past. The power shift happening right now inside the monarchy is impossible to ignore, and Camilla is being pushed further and further into the background with every passing day as the world embraces the real Kate. Kate herself continues to recover quietly and to mother her 3 beautiful children with the same quiet grace and loving dedication that has always defined her. She is preparing for the future with a strength and a resilience that no amount of palace plotting or jealousy can ever touch. The letter she wrote in her darkest hour has become a powerful symbol, not of weakness, but of extraordinary courage, motherhood, and humanity. It reminds every mother watching today that even queens have moments when they feel like they are disappearing, and that it is okay to admit those moments out loud. That honesty is precisely what makes Kate the kind of future queen the monarchy desperately needs right now. The world has now seen the real Kate in all her vulnerability, and the love pouring in from every corner of the globe proves that her honesty is her greatest power and her greatest gift to us all. Friends, this health reveal is far from over. New details continue to emerge every single day about the private battles Kate fought so bravely, the support she received from those who truly care about her, and the quiet ways the family dynamics have shifted forever because of her courage. We will keep bringing you the latest updates and the most shocking new revelations as this story develops, because in the world of the British royal family, the drama never truly ends. And the next chapter is always just around the corner. Camilla may be fuming in silence and plotting her next move, but Kate's light is shining brighter than ever before, and nothing can dim it now. The real vulnerability she revealed during her pregnancies has shocked the world, inspired millions of women everywhere, and forever changed how we see the woman who will one day wear the crown with the same grace and strength she has shown us all. If Kate's courage moved you today, remember that true strength is not about hiding pain or pretending everything is perfect. It is about facing that pain with honesty, love, and unbreakable determination. Share this story with every mother you know, and with everyone who needs to hear that. They are not alone in their struggles. The conversation Kate started is only growing stronger, and the palace will never be the same again after this revelation. Stay strong, stay royal, and remember that even the most perfect smiles can hide the most powerful battles fought in silence. The future queen has shown us all what real vulnerability looks like, and the world loves her more for it than ever before. The monarchy has a new heart, and that heart belongs to Catherine. But let us go even deeper into the layers of this story, because there is so much more that the public has not yet fully understood. During the first pregnancy in 2012, the hospital stays were not just short visits. Kate was admitted multiple times under the strictest secrecy. Insiders described nights when William would pace the hospital corridors alone while doctors worked to stabilize his wife. The fear of losing the baby was so real that private prayers were said in the chapel at Kensington Palace. Camilla, according to several accounts, used those moments to strengthen her own position by appearing more frequently at events and reminding the public of her experience. Yet Kate emerged stronger each time, returning with a smile that hid the toll it had taken. In 2015 with Charlotte, the situation escalated. The weight loss was so dramatic that doctors monitored her around the clock. Kate confided in a very small circle that the anxiety sometimes made her doubt if she could be the mother she wanted to be. William canceled a major overseas tour to stay by her side. Camilla allegedly suggested in a meeting that Kate's condition was being overstated to gain sympathy. Anne overheard, and the confrontation that followed was described as one of the most tense moments in recent royal history. Anne's words cut deep, and the rift between the factions grew wider. By 2017 with Louis, everything reached a breaking point. The letter was written over several nights when Kate could not sleep. She poured her soul onto those pages, describing the physical exhaustion, the emotional roller coaster, and the love that kept her going. When it leaked, the world saw not just a royal, but a mother just like them. Celebrities, politicians, and everyday women responded with an outpouring of support that flooded the palace with letters and messages. Camilla tried to limit the impact by briefing certain outlets, but the tide had turned. Sophie's daily calls became a lifeline. Edward offered quiet legal advice on protecting the family's privacy. George and Charlotte's innocent questions led to family conversations that strengthened the bond between William and Kate. The public reaction went far beyond hashtags. Support groups for hyperemesis saw record membership. Mental health organizations reported increased calls from women inspired by Kate's honesty. World leaders, including those from Commonwealth nations, sent private notes praising her for humanizing the monarchy. Even critics of the royal family admitted that this vulnerability made the institution feel more relevant. Inside the palace, the younger royals began holding more meetings without the old guard. Responsibilities were quietly transferred. Camilla's influence over certain decisions waned as Anne, Sophie, and Edward formed a protective circle around Kate. Kate's recovery after Louis was slow but steady. She focused on her children, on her health, and on the future. The letter became a beacon for mothers worldwide. Documentaries and articles explored hyperemesis like never before. Kate's foundation work on early childhood and family support gained new momentum. Camilla watched from the sidelines as the narrative shifted permanently. Sources say she grew quieter in meetings, her usual confidence replaced by frustration. Anne continued to champion Kate openly. William's protectiveness became even more evident in public appearances. The family unit of the Waleses emerged stronger and more united than ever. This revelation has ripple effects that will last for years. The monarchy is evolving. Future queens will be judged not only on duty, but on humanity. Kate has set a new standard by showing that vulnerability and strength can coexist. Millions of women feel seen because of her. The palace knows it cannot return to the old ways of silence and secrecy. Camilla's era of control is fading. The future belongs to Kate and the values she represents: honesty, resilience, and love above all. Friends, we are only at the beginning of understanding the full impact of this health reveal. New sources continue to come forward with additional details about those private hospital nights, the whispered conversations, and the quiet acts of support that kept Kate going. We will continue to follow every development and bring you the truth as it unfolds. The drama within the royal family is far from finished, and the next chapter promises to be even more revealing. Camilla may still be fuming, but Kate's courage has already won the hearts of the world. The real vulnerability she shared has not weakened the monarchy. It has made it stronger, more human, and more connected to the people it serves. Share this story far and wide. Talk about it with your friends and family. Support the causes that help mothers facing similar challenges. Kate's journey reminds us all that behind every crown, there is a real person with real struggles and real triumphs. The future queen has shown her true heart, and the world is better for it. Stay tuned, because the palace secrets keep coming, and we will be here to bring them to you as they happen. The story of Kate's real vulnerability during her pregnancies is one for the history books, and it is still being written every day.